You're scared of trying in case you fail. What's the price of failure, really? Imagine you lost everything. Are you going to freeze to death? Like the 1800s where you lose your house because you've been evicted by Indians or whatever as you were trying to cross the frontier and they ran up on your wagon and scalped your wife. Like, that's not going to happen. No one's going to scalp your wife. No one's going to murder your kids. You're not going to freeze to death. You're not going to get typhus. You're sitting there worried about trying hard. Oh, what happens if I fail? Basically nothing. It's free spins. You're just going to win. In the end, if you keep spinning, you're going to win. And if you lose, what happens? Oh, you have a little bit less money. Oh, you can't buy champagne in an overpriced beach club for a few months. Who gives a shit? You're always going to have food. You're always going to have somewhere to sleep. It's always going to be warm enough. How bad can it really go? We talk about the world being a bad place, but it's actually better than ever. Despite the fact they print endless money and they rob us all and the politics aren't real and there are no elections, truthfully, the world's probably more peaceful than it's ever been. Europe's not at war. The Teutonic Knights are not going to come and chop your balls off. The true price of failure is sitting there living, not knowing if you could have made it or not. Because most of you, even though you have a shitty, brokey job, your life's fine. You go to work, you waste your time, you waste your life, but your bills are paid, you get to eat every day. Your dick gets wet now and again. Your life's fine. What's the punishment for not trying? The punishment is wondering, could your life have been better? If you have no shame, if you're not the kind of person with honor and dignity, then you don't feel a punishment. You just get to work your bullshit job and have your bullshit life. But if you have any kind of shame, you sit and wonder, could I be doing more? The punishment's self-inflicted. There is no price for failure anymore. You can do whatever you want. You can try a new business today. You can try and make money right now. It could all go wrong. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? You're going to get the bubonic plague. You're going to end up getting hung, drawn, and quartered. And nothing's going to happen. So stop being a bitch and try anyway. It's better to try and fail and know you couldn't do it than sit and wonder what your life could be if you stop being a lazy piece of shit. Everybody is the exact same amount of stressed and anxious. Nobody is happier than you. Nobody is less depressed than you are. Nobody is going through life with less worries than you have. Everyone is exactly the same. We feel the same. So for that reason, why not have a huge empire, right? You think that if you don't try very hard, you won't have worries and stress. If you don't put yourself out there, you don't take risks, you don't have to worry about it all going wrong. But now you're just stressed and worried about the bills. And now you have FOMO because you can't afford to go to Saint-Tropez and Dubai when everyone else can. And now you're mad that your car broke down and everyone else drives Lamborghinis. Don't you understand that you can either be stressed and miserable and unhappy and worried about the fact that your massive, monumental empire might be collapsing around you because federal agencies are after you, and that somehow, even though you've only made $100 million this year, you have to pay a $35 million tax bill, and you can have a driveway full of supercars, and you can be one of the most famous men in the world, and you can have all the stress and anxiety and pressure that comes with that, or you can have all the stress, anxiety, and pressure that comes with sitting in the commute on your way to your bullshit job in Starbucks, depressed because your car's crap and you can't get a girlfriend. You are going to be miserable. You're going to be stressed. You're going to be depressed. You're going to be anxious all of the time, no matter what you do. So why not use your time to build a massive empire? And at least then it's worth being stressed and anxious and depressed. Whether you do it or you don't do it, you're going to regret it. Happiness doesn't exist. Forget the fucking happiness. You're never going to feel that way. You're always going to feel the way you feel right now. So the way you feel right now is worth it if you have a massive empire, and it's not worth it if you don't. There is no such thing as building this fantastic dream life where you don't feel that way. A lot of the reasons why you're not taking risks and you're not doing things is you're worried. You're concerned about how, if it goes wrong, or the problems that come with it, or can I afford it? You're going to feel like shit no matter what you do, so just go in. It doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? I'm happy to be stressed and depressed. I'm happy to be anxious and worried and nervous. I'm happy to have all those things because I have a fantastically large empire. It's worth it. I would not be happy to feel that way if I had your life.
Many people don't go as far as they should go because they have apprehension that they won't reach their goal. They just say, I'm going to stay down here where I'm at and not try because I might lose. I'm not going to own anything because I might lose it. I'm not going to buy a house because I might lose it. I'm not going to get married because I might get a divorce. That's madness, but that's how it is. Have you given yourself permission to succeed? Or are you so intimidated by the fear of failure that you don't try? On the other side of it is the fear of success. I want it, but I don't want all the stuff that comes with it. I don't want to deal with all the problems that come with it. I don't want to deal with the pressures that come with it. I can't handle it. I'm going to stay on this lower level. And when you do that, you are left with nothing but the hope of magic. I'm just going to stay down here where it's comfortable, but I'm believing that I'm going to get a blessing up here while I'm staying down here. You can't do it. What really stops us from taking the lead and coming to the forefront a lot of times is not the lack of talent. It's not the lack of education. I've been amazed at the people I have met who were highly educated and failing. So education alone is not the solution. I've worked in penal institutions and seen people who were very gifted and incarcerated. In fact, I've seen people with less talent than you doing more than you. And this is what causes jealousy and envy. When you look and you meet other people who have less to work with than you, and yet they're in higher positions than you, you can either become jealous or you can begin to challenge yourself to say, what is wrong with my belief systems that's stopping me from going to the next level in this area? This is not about money necessarily. This is not about prestige necessarily. This is about progress, because it's a shame to live long and have no progress. I've been washing these toilets for 27 years. At least let me be the manager of the toilet washers. I want to move up. Maybe it's wrong. Is there anybody in here that wants to move up?
Listen, please listen. When you watch our videos, I don't want you to be happy for us. I don't want you to sit there and go, that would be cool. I want you to watch our videos and think, how do I get where they are? How do I get involved in that life? How do I get next to the Tates or build a replicable life for myself and my team? How do I reach that echelon of masculine capability? Look around yourself. Look at the room you're in now. Look at the woman you're next to. Look at the car you drive. Look at all of it. Say, am I happy with this? Do I want something else? Do I want more? How do I get what they have? They are two brothers from the bottom who were broke, who have everything now. How did they do it? How do I do it? I'm not showing you these videos for you to have a fucking happy, fun time. I'm showing you these videos to motivate you and explain to you there is an entire version of reality that you have yet to crack. You could be a someone! All you had to do was work these last few years. You could be a millionaire. You could save your mother from being coarsened in the labor market. You could literally keep your parents alive longer, and you still didn't try. You still couldn't be motivated. Extra years of consciousness for the people who birthed you is somehow not as important as jerking off on Pornhub to fucking scumbag losers like you. And you don't feel any shame in your fucking heart? There's nothing bothering you deep inside? You sleep just fine? Everything's okay, is it? What the fuck is wrong with you people? I don't understand. Why must reality slap you in the face so brutally for you to wake up? You're the kind of dickhead who drives his car on the ice and won't slow down. It's only when you hit a fucking tree and lose a leg you sit there and go, I might slow down next time. You only learn lessons the hardest possible way. And here I am, trying my best to convince you to win. I'm not trying to convince you to die. I'm not trying to convince you to lose. I'm trying to convince you to do something you should already want to fucking do, which is win. And I can't seem to get you to take action and move and work.
Right now, you're watching it, and you look around you, and you don't own the home you're in, get pissed off. If there ain't a Ferrari on your drive, get pissed off. You need to sit there and realize, whoa. I have a few years of consciousness, and even less than that, I have a few short years as a young man. You're wasting them. Get angry. Forced, directed anger is an extremely powerful force.
It's very easy to get exactly what you want if you try. What you have is people who try 60%. They try one day, then they miss a day. And then they say, I tried my best, but I still failed. You didn't try your best because you missed a day. I have always tried my best, which is why I have everything I've ever tried to get. I don't have the things I didn't try to get. If I see a man and he's like, oh, I don't want to work, I don't want to try, I just drink, well, then I don't like you because you're an idiot. The competition is absolutely and utterly fierce. Understanding that you're a man with a small pistol up against a mighty army. If you want to add a little bit of laziness on top, you work 8 hours a day? You work 8? If I'm awake, I'm working. I don't take a second off. I don't relax. I don't rest. I don't stop. I don't chill. None. That is all I do. And you are at home competing against me, and you want to watch a movie tonight.
Genuinely ask yourself a question. You at home. If you had done those things for the last 2 years, you never skipped a training. You never wasted time. You never scrolled TikTok. You never sat aimlessly on the internet typing in garbage, never played video games. You never wasted time. You never skipped training. You were training every single day. You never slept in. You were never lazy. Imagine the person you would be. Genuinely imagine what you would look like. Imagine where you would live. Imagine the car you would drive. Imagine how much your woman would respect you. Imagine your existence. That person is waiting for you. And the only thing that's stopping you from being that person is your monumental laziness. You can have it. The universe is very giving. It will give you anything you work for. I've never seen somebody try for something with all of their might and not get it. The only people who do not have the things they want are the people who do not try for them. You are not stupid. You are not incompetent. You are lazy and arrogant. It's extremely important you understand that that person is waiting for you and you are declining that version of yourself. You can transform yourself into that guy. You can be a top G. That's exactly what I did. I knew who I was going to have to end up being before I became that person. My brother and I are not from rich families. We are not from advantaged beginnings, but I knew I had to be a big, strong, fighting billionaire. Discipline is the key to success. If you cannot force yourself to do something you don't want to do, how are you ever going to put yourself through the suffering required for greatness? If you cannot force yourself to train when you do not want to train, if you cannot force yourself to work when you don't want to work, if you can't force yourself to not log into Pornhub or force yourself to eat right, how can you possibly ever become a monumentally successful person if you cannot control yourself long enough to do what must be done as opposed to what you feel like doing? The only people who get to live their lives based on how they feel are women and children. A man must do what he is supposed to do irregardless of how he feels. That is the key component to masculinity, is discipline.
If someone were to say to me, Andrew, how do I get rich? I'd say, well, then you have to understand that all the money you're trying to make, other people are trying to make. So you need to be faster. You need to be more competitive. You need to try harder. You need to wake up earlier. You need to dedicate yourself. And if they say to me, I don't want to do that, I'm going to say, okay, then you're a loser. Go lose. Here's the next man who wants to win. And then when he wins, people are going to ask him how he did it. And I'm going to say, because he played the game. You can be below average IQ and still get very rich. It's step by step. Do this, do that. Do this, and don't be lazy.
People misunderstand what trying means because it's actually extremely lazy for you as a person to give up and work a 9-to-5 for the rest of your life as opposed to trying to find a way to escape. It's actually lazier. It takes more laziness to go to work every single day for the next 40 years than it would be for you to sit and use your mind and try and find a way to escape. You say, I'm not lazy, I work every day. But you are lazy because you can't be bothered to think outside of your box. That is laziness. I'm not lazy, I work really hard. Yes, you do work really hard because you were too lazy to find a way to not work hard. So you're lazy. It's actually very doable for anybody who will pay attention.
Listen, folks, success is hard. It's really hard. There are nothing but difficulties in achieving your goal. We just need to get that part straight.
It's not easy. It's hard changing your life. It was very difficult to pick myself up each day believing that I could do it. There were times that I doubted myself.
But I got news for you. Having lived in a car for 3 years, being not successful is hard too. Now here's the difference between the two hards. When you are not successful, there are no options. You can't decide where you're going to dinner. You can't decide if you're going on vacation. You can't decide what you're going to eat. On the road to success, it's hard, but it creates options for you.
Many of you know that God will make things uncomfortable to get you out of your comfort zone, to put you in a place of purpose and destiny where you can stretch your gifts that you didn't even know you had, to rise to the height of your calling and soar above your adversities and fly like the eagle you were created to be.